All right, so we are going to finish up number 5 and 6. Number 5 and 6 is kind of interesting because technically, if I look at the g of x, so I'm going to type g of x, and that's going to be equal to f of x plus 4. We know, that that's going to change our y-intercept up 4 units. And we know that the graph is going to be parallel. Okay, that's just like number 1. But notice there is one little thing that's a little bit different about this one. We have this little negative number outside in front, which if we call back when we're looking at the slope and the scale factor, we're multiplying in the case of 4, we were multiplying by 1/2. But remember, if there's no number in front, that's considered to be 1. But if we're multiplying by -1, okay, so now that does something interesting to our graph. It now flips it, okay, and it's flipping it across x-axis. All of what we're doing is dealing with on this page in the introduction is what we call vertical changes. So that means we're changing and affecting the y values. So when we're reflecting it across the y-axis, we're changing the y values, but the x values are staying the same. So think about if we were just to talk about from negative f of x, okay, I'm going to convert it. I'm going to create a table just so that you can see this. So now instead of being -2, 2 on the parent function, it's now -2, +2. So that y value went from -2 to +2. So originally, if we were to just so right there, we're at, it's not letting me click on it. There we go. There we go. Nah, dang it. -2, 2, we're now at -2, +2. So we flipped it on its axis. We flipped it across the x-axis. Now we'll talk about later on what changes when we flip it across the y-axis, because that's some different things, because flipping across the y-axis would be affecting the y values. But right now we're just affecting the x values. Got tongue-tied there. Sorry about that. All right, but let's go ahead and finish this out, and we're going to change that to +4. All right, so now when we have -2, we got 6, we've got 0, we've got 4, we've got 2, 2, and then we've got 4, we've got 0. So there's two things. Think about our rule that we're doing here in terms of this. G of x as a rule would become -x plus 4. So whatever that x value is, we need to first multiply it by a negative number and then add 4 to it. So that -2 would become +2. Then 2 plus 4 would give us the 6. So those are the things that we're doing there. Let's go ahead and graph. We've got -2, +6. We've got -1, 5. And if you notice, this has a slope of -1. Now, there's also another interesting thing that we're going to talk about in a few days is these lines, they're not parallel. They're intersecting, but they're intersecting in a special way that's very different from how number 3 and number 4 were intersecting. But I'm going to hold that off till a later date. So for right now, we know that our y-intercept is still going to have that shift up 4. And our 0 of the graph is going to shift to the right. So our 0 of the graph is going to be here at +4. And then -1, we have a output of 5. So we have two transformations that happen here. The transformation that's going to happen is going to be a shift up vertically, shift vertically, 4 units, and we have the reflection. And the reflection again is across the x-axis. Okay, now we're going to deal with the last question, number 6. If you notice, if you think, we still have we have two transformations. We got a -1, so let's talk. I'm going to take out the negative, and we're going to shift it what? Now, hopefully you should be getting used to this. We're going to shift it down 1 unit, and then we now have a slope that's now going from 1 to 2. So now we're making it steeper, okay? Now, if you notice, our y-intercept is still changing, so that plus, think about y equals mx plus b, that constant number is still our y-intercept. So this value when x is 0, we're going to have a y value of -1. But now we're going to go up to right 1, up to right 1. So think about when we've got -2, if we convert this to a table, we've got -5. When we got x is 2, we've got y is 3, and x is 4, we got 7. So our graph has gotten vertically stretched and shifted. Now in this case, since that we're adding a negative number, we shifted down vertically. And we shifted down 1 unit. So our y-intercept is now at -1. And our 0 of the graph, okay, I think our 0 of the graph is a decimal. Let's see. There it goes. Yep. Our 0 of the graph is 0.5 or 1/2. And let's find the value of -6. Remember, we can type in our x value down here. So I'm just going to type this as -6, and that will give me -13. And that concludes the lesson for vertical transformations. Again, you can replay this video and watch it and see if you can figure it out. But it's pretty straightforward for the vertical transformation and the positions on how they are. And you have a Wayground assignment to tie to this. See you next time.